It's time for Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Behold, the industrious beaver.
Oh, look, it's Nick's new Nicktoons.
Yay, the Angry Beavers!
That Norby, he's one dental trendsetter.
No, you are the coolest.
And he has the respect of all the forest animals.
I'm gonna grow my teeth too.
That is precisely what I'm going to do.
Copy, Beaver.
Am not.
I too.
Am not.
Go chew wood.
The Angry Beavers, admired by real beavers everywhere. Every Sunday morning at 10:30, 9:30 Central, only on Nick.
Hello, everybody. I'm back here again with another Nickelodeon review. Today we'll be tackling the Angry Beavers. I'm sure you're glad to see this one today. Did I decide to do this one because I was caught up by a train when I was going home from school? No, why would you assume that? Anyway, The Angry Beavers is the 8th Nicktoon I'll be reviewing for this series. It was created by former Garfield and Friends writer Mitch Schauer, and it ran from April 19th, 1997 to August 27th, 2006, over 4 seasons and 62 episodes. The Angry Beavers is also, unfortunately, the first Nicktoon in my review series to get punted to Nicktoons before it finished airing, which is why it ran for 8 years. Herb Scannell, president of Nickelodeon at the time, particularly didn't like this show and objected to its offensive language used in it, such as the phrase "shut up," despite other shows on the network, such as Kablam and Hey Arnold, being free to use this phrase, and more, with no consequences. The crew of the Angry Beavers would fight many battles with Scannell throughout its time on the network. One moment in particular, in the episode Alley Oops, had the phrase "shut up" changed to a bleep sound, which then had to be censored even further because that made it sound like an actual swear. The show is mostly known for the dialogue being improvised by the lead actors, Richard Horvitz and Nick Bakay, and that the last episode was never finished because it broke the fourth wall too hard. Now that the history is out of the way, what is The Angry Beavers about? Well, the show follows 2 beaver brothers named Daggett and Norbert, who are very nervous and very laid back, respectively, and their adventures after getting thrown out of their parents' house due to their mother having another litter, their little sisters, played by creator Mitch Schauer's daughters. Dag and Norb, as they like to be called, get into adventures in their new dam, including becoming superheroes, being thrown into the sun, and babysitting their sisters. The supporting cast also includes Tree Flower, a hippie beaver who Norbert's in love with, Stump, a tree stump with a face, Barry, a badger who's a disco star, Bing, who's annoying, and Trucky, a kleptomaniac trucker shrew. The Angry Beavers has kind of a tough start, but grows to be one of the best Nicktoons of the 90s by the 2nd season. The first season is kind of slow. It uses more basic stock cartoon plots, like a football episode or a beach episode, and it kind of feels like a less out there Rocko's Modern Life, which was in itself a less out there version of Ren and Stimpy. By the end of the season, at the episode Bummer of Love, the Angry Beavers grows to be its most recognizable self, zany, dialogue-heavy, 70s nostalgic. By the start of the 2nd season, with double-hitter Beaver Fever, where the Beavers become disco stars, and Same Time Next Week, where Daggett gets stuck in a Groundhog Day loop, it won me over and became one of my favorites. The main Nicktoon to compare with this one is really Cat Dog. Both shows are about brothers on their own in adolescence. Both are wacky cartoons focused on animals. Both came out in the late 90s. I really liked Cat Dog as a kid. It was one of the shows me and my other friend from the Rocco video could watch with each other without getting mad at each other, so it was nice. As I got older, however, The Angry Beavers definitely has the top spot as the best brother-focused Nicktoon to me. I enjoy all the little quirks of the series, the cheesy 50s B-movies that the Beavers are fans of, all the 70s hippie and disco music in the soundtrack, the fact that all the guest stars are at least 60 years old, except for Kevin McDonald. I love him. I remember one of the writers telling a story about how one day that there was a hearse at Nickelodeon Studios for some reason, and one of the guys calls out to Mitch Schauer, the creator, saying, "Hey Mitch, it's one of your guest stars." It has a very weird, quirky feel that I really enjoy. There's a pretty limited cast of characters in the show. The only one I didn't mention before are like the Beavers' parents, and that's it. And it makes the world kind of feel empty in comparison to its contemporaries like Rocco or Hey Arnold. The humans in the show also kind of have freaky designs. Some are more cartoony and look like the animals in the series, like the Beavers or Barry or whatever. But the B-movie actors are stylized to look more like real caricatures of people, and they can get kind of creepy. That's not really a knock, but I don't really like it either. It's just something to talk about. The music in the show is generally fine, but nothing to really write home about, unlike Hey Arnold, per se. I do like the setting of it, though, them living in a forest in a beaver dam. The color palette of the show and the general designs are also pretty nice. Every character is very geometrically shaped, and I like it. I think this is more of a silly cartoon to watch it like one or two at a time rather than all at once. I watched this one a lot around 2022, watching only one at a time or so, and I think I had a lot more fun doing it that way than doing the binge watch method of the series. Also, my mom was in the hospital when I was watching this for the second time around, and that probably also has something to do with it. Overall, you don't have to think too much when you're watching the show, which I enjoy when I'm trying not to think about all my problems in life. One other little funny thing that the show has to offer is that in every episode, from the second season on, most of the crew members in the credits have nicknames that either relate to the show or just puns in some way. These are probably the most fun that I've had watching credits in my life. They're really nice, and they can get really funny at sometimes. Sometimes they dig at other shows. It's pretty funny to watch. I do think that some of the improv can get annoying if you're watching the show in a big chunk like I was. There's very obvious moments at times where the voice actors were just told to do something funny or whatever. Most of it just comes down to Norbert pronouncing Daggett's name in a weird way. It's non-remarkable if you only watch one or two episodes at a time. When you watch them all at once, it gets obnoxious real quick. Most of Daggett's little vocal tics also get kind of obnoxious over time, but it's really nothing compared to bad improv. Bad improv is worse than anything on earth. Overall, I think reviewing funny shows is harder than reviewing more dramatic or variety shows, because there's only so many times you can say this is funny before the review starts getting boring. So I think I'll wrap things up by talking about how good a job the voice actors do in the show. Even though I just talked about them being annoying before, they really do a good job. There are only two main voice actors, Nick Bakay and Richard Horvitz, and they play off each other wonderfully as Norb and Dag. They have great chemistry with each other, and it's nice to hear. I also like Norb's little mispronunciation of things, like saying actwas instead of actors. I think that's funny, and I have a bad sense of humor, I guess. But because of all those little quirks and the little tics and whatever, it feels like they're real brothers, which gives the show a lot of authenticity. In addition to them, I also have to give a mention to the voice of scientist number one, Edward Winter, because he was Colonel Flag in MASH, and that's one of my favorite shows. He's also a good voice actor, but it's not like I'm not going to mention that he was on MASH. I also really like Cynthia Mann as Tree Flower. She's a really sweet voice, and it goes well with her hippie girl shtick. John Gary as Barry also has a really nice, deep voice that's very pleasant to listen to. It's as smooth as butter. The best writer of the show would probably be Keith Kazarek. I hope I'm saying that right, sorry. Who wrote some of my favorite episodes like Beaver Fever, The Legend of Kid Friendly, Line Dunsing, and Bite This. And the best director would be Patty Shinagawa, who directed the classics The Day the World Got Really Screwed Up, Muscular Beaver 2, Tree of Hearts, and Same Time Last Week. Story editor and occasional writer Meriwether Williams would also go on to write some of SpongeBob's best episodes, but you'll see those later, so I have to give a shout out to her. Now let's move on to my favorite episodes of the Angry Beavers. So we'll start with Season 1, it's Bummer of Love. This, in my opinion, is the first great episode of the Angry Beavers. I love the hippie theme of the episode. Norb's romance with Tree Flower is really cute, and the song I Think I Like You is also really sweet. Overall, it's just a nice, zany piece of 70s nostalgia that really appealed to me because I like the whole old nostalgia. Season 2, Muscular Beaver 2. I really liked all the Muscular Beaver episodes, especially 4 in addition to this one, but I picked this one as the best of Season 2, purely just because it was really funny. Norbert getting absolutely maimed throughout it is one of my favorite cartoon gags, so I enjoyed that, and yeah, it was just really funny. It was nice to watch. Most of the characters get big parts in it, it's a great episode. I'm really happy with it, because Honestly, superhero episodes are never really my cup of tea in cartoons, except for SpongeBob with Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy. Like, every other cartoon, like, they're fine. But these ones are actually really nice, so I'm happy with them. Season 3, Pass It On. This is a storytelling episode where all the main characters, Dag, Norb, Treeflower, Barry, Bing, Truckee, and Stump, all get to add on to a campfire story they're all telling, and they're all told in different animation styles and genres. I thought it was really inventive and creative. I especially loved Treeflower's anime-influenced portion of the story. It was really cohesive and showed off the uniqueness of the cast, which I think should have been utilized more. Season 4, the last one, it's the Posei Dam Adventure. This is actually my favorite episode of the series, and it was actually the last one made besides Bye Bye Beavers because that one was never finished. There's only voices and a storyboard. It's really funny. I love seeing the dynamic between Dag and Truckee because they both hate each other's guts, and that's fun to watch. A really funny episode, once again utilizing some of the other characters that didn't really get focused on. I think Truckee had like 4 episodes centering on him, and that's it. It's not a great finale, I'll admit, but I have the animatic for the actual last episode, and that's good enough. Some of my other favorite episodes include Same Time Last Week from Season 2, If You and Sisters, also from Season 2, Daggy Dearest from Season 3, and Home Loners, also from Season 3. Now I'll transition into my worst episode of this series, and to me the worst episode of The Angry Beavers is Fantastic Voyage from Season 4. It just really annoyed me. I also hate the Fantastic Voyage type episodes for reasons too complicated to go into. I'll give you one word, Swayzak. Also, Dag gets really annoying in this one, and I hate that. Not funny, not even really amusing, and it just annoyed the tar out of me. Some of my other least favorite episodes include Deck Poops from Season 4, Housebroken from Season 1, H2O, also from Season 1, and The Mighty Knothead from Season 2. All of the ones, besides Fantastic Voyage, are all just kind of boring. They're not really offensive, but they aren't really, interesting, or like, anything special to rewatch, so they're okay, they're just not great. Alright, let's wrap this thing up, shall we? If you're looking for something silly, zany, and full of brotherly love, this show is the place. I recommend starting on the last episode of the first season, then moving back to the first if you've never seen it before. The first season, as I said, is okay, but not as good as it would eventually become. Pace yourself, and then enjoy the Beavers and all they have to offer. And next time, we'll be reviewing the other brotherly love show of Nickelodeon in the 90s. It's Cat Dog. See you there, baby. Woo!
5, 4, 3,
And now it's time for an exclusive with Nick Shower, creator of
The Angry Beavers!
I can't believe it, Norbert.
What's that, Daggett?
Norbert is based on me. He's laid back, he doesn't get too wild up about anything, and is more of a spectator. And Daggett, he's very emotional, he's gullible, he just kind of leaps before he looks. When I direct a recording session, I try to set up an environment for Richard and Nick to play the Beavers and let their chemistry do the rest.
Come on, Dag, you don't want to go to bed?
Yeah.
If you go to bed, you're going to miss out on doing your favorite thing.
Huh?
Prank! Phone call time!
Yeah! Woo!
Go for it.
Hello?
Hey, Chicken Neck, you should wear a sweater.
Daggett, is that you?
Mom?
Look for more Angry Beaver exclusives right here on Nickelodeon.